campus, so there's really no going back. So we need to go ahead with that. The other part is the labs. And what I was considering doing was trying to do the labs on Fridays. So the labs would be on Fridays, where one lab would be in the morning on Fridays. So, and I don't know how this would work. I'd have to look at the timing.
So this just be like a math lab, like everyone there?
No, I'd love to do that, but I don't plan on doing that. We still sort of need to have 2 lab sections. I don't know how we can do a lab. How many people are in this class?
We're missing it.
I'd say plus 5 or 6.
There's 3, 4 there, and Devin.
18. To tell you the truth, if we have 20-something people, we might be able to do that. I haven't considered that. You're a small enough group. If you only, like my material science class has 33 people, I couldn't do 1 lab.
And some of us have laptops.
Some of you what?
Have laptops.
That have like SolidWorks on it and everything.
Yeah, so you know what? That's what I wanted to try to sell today. So I'd like to change the schedule as little as possible. If I thought I could shift my material science class by hour and leave everything here the same, that's what I would do. The problem is the thermal labs right now are in morning and noon, morning and afternoon on Thursday. I have labs on morning and afternoon on Thursday. So, and Jeremy has classes all day Thursday.
What about Monday? My Monday's good.
Yeah, Mondays are open.
Yeah, but this always happens, and I'll ask, and where the heck are the other 6 people? Who has a conflict on Monday afternoons?
That would only be them
Only
and then mechanical
need one.
projects.
I'm free after 12:15.
I know for most of them, their Mondays are open.
It doesn't matter.
It goes to
You gotta have
mechanical
that.
projects Monday level.
Mondays.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Straddle both is not happening.
no. I'll
That's kind of what we've done so far.
I've been down this path before. This isn't the first time I've had to try to reschedule a class like this. My next scenario is I go to the registrar and I have them print out every single person's schedule in both classes. And we start a process of looking at them and figuring out what fits. And like I said, I think probably, I'm going to guess that we may have to go to 2 lectures a week and find a time that works for people. I don't want to go to 1 lecture a week. I don't like having 3-hour lectures. That's not optimal.
We don't either. Yeah, we don't either.
Yeah, that's just not optimal. You know, I'd love to have 3. Maybe, just maybe, I mean, I know the students in my, I have to see if anyone has a 9 o'clock class in my materials course. I have a feeling they do. If no one has a 9 o'clock class, I could shift everything back an hour, and that would be the best. Because then we could leave all the lectures the same. Although Jeremy told me not to be here today, because that means his wife has to get the kids to school. So I'd like to get my kids to school. You know how good I am at 8 a.m.
So what are we doing?
You mean it starts?
I would have enjoying not having an 8 a.m. class.
So you email us, or what should we do for Monday when we get here?
We will start communicating clearly what exactly we're
So
doing.
classes are canceled for the remainder of the week?
I told Jeremy what we'd like to do, and he said I prefer to start on Monday. That'll give us a little breathing room.
Now, what about 10 a.m. today?
10 a.m. today, yes.
Go to thermo.
Come. I'm not good yet. Are you in thermodynamics?
No.
Okay, so ask one of these people what I just said over the last.
Kidder, I'll record it.
Okay. So yes, come to thermodynamics. That might seem redundant, but it's not exactly the same group of people. I've already written my material science class and told them we're not having class today because I can finish covering chapter 7 and do the annealing lab tomorrow with them on Thursday. Or that would be, is that tomorrow? It's tomorrow, Thursday. So that's when I have that lab. So I don't know how, where are you at? I would leave it here. The plan is to use the kinematics and dynamics book. I don't feel the one you're using. I think enough people raise their hands that it may be difficult to say we're going to use a different textbook than what you've been using because we don't want this to be disruptive as little as possible. So we need to keep it going forward.
As far as this book here, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so did anybody buy other than myself, buy the
A lot of
mandated
people
one?
did, but
I already
how many
returned
people
it.
did not?
Yeah, I returned mine Thursday.
So it's 1, 2, 3. So put some hands in. So the other people who do not have the other textbook. Okay, so it's split. Half and half.
Is there any way we can get the bookstore to well, not only restock it, but it be accommodating to this? So I mean, it'd be terrible for these guys to like rent the book and pay full price for only half the semester. Do you think they're willing to work with us and say, okay, we'll get you 6 books at half price?
They're not, but I'm willing to work with you, so we'll figure out something there. They won't be willing to work on, they'll be, yeah. But I am. I think you're, and what I probably want to do is I'm going to defer Jeremy and go look at it, and he'll be the instructor. So I think it makes sense if you feel that that book is easier to proceed forward with. That might make a lot of sense. But like I said, this all happened like less than 12 hours ago. So it's all we're figuring that out. But this is exactly why I came here today. Like, how do we proceed forward? So it sounds like if we get a book, if we make textbooks accessible to people in one way or another, would people prefer to? People who've looked at it, some people may not have an opinion about this.
It seems a lot easier to me, and I can relate it more to the textbook we had last year.
Yeah.
And so that it seemed more applicable to that, like it carried on from where you left off. So in that respect, I liked it, but it was definitely a lot simpler than this book.
That book seems like a.
You will continue to do, you probably will continue to do simulations. I know that Jeremy's intending to look at the textbook that Carl has, and we don't, like I said, I don't think what you were doing the first 7 weeks was bad. I don't know if it was implemented perfectly. So that, because that's also what the Louise would do. The labs involve using SolidWorks to build mechanisms and to do stuff. But there's a variety of ways you can do that. I think that theme will still, that activity will still stay. One other thing I'm considering with the labs, I got to talk with Jeremy about this, and I don't know if anyone has objections, we could shorten them to say 2 hours. That might ease scheduling if we have to shift stuff. Because you have the potential of doing like 2 labs between 8 and 12. Or you can do like, or you split them or something. So does anyone have an objection to that if you felt like you were losing an hour of lab time?
No.
It can be very tough depending on the experiments you're doing, but quite honestly, if we change thermodynamics next year, it's going to be a 3-credit class. It actually is 1 less hour of lecture. I actually was proposing to shorten the labs to 2 hours and keep it a 4-credit class. The administration didn't like that idea, so we actually were forced to sort of reduce it to 3 credits, which is fine. You're getting a lot of the architects only get that 1 4-credit class for fluids and thermal. They get so that might be another option. I want to bounce all of, that's why I'm here today, to bounce all of these things off you. I want to make sure everyone's sort of on board. So no one objects to that. How do you sort of labs? I don't know why you would, but
Jeremy's design column? We'll take Jeremy's design column, or?
Oh my God, no.
So bad for those kids.
No, I don't think that, I think this can work. It's okay. No.
I mean,
Well, it's not, yeah, you know, as constructive as this is, us cutting it halfway, I'm not going to ask him to go into a class halfway. I mean, why would I do that? I would just, he would just continue doing this. That would make sense. So I think this is going to be all right. I wouldn't worry about it. We're halfway through the semester, so, you know, you've been through some stuff, and there's stuff on record.
Where are we going when we graduated?
all right.
You are, I mean, you are very close. Yes.
I have homework to turn in.
We still have the quiz.
You have a question?
I spent a whole minute studying.
Yeah, right?
Hello.
When you get done, could you stop by and see me for a minute?
Sure. All right. All right. No, that's Mike. Mike rarely comes to see me like that.
So it's something. He's doing that, the smiley head bob.
Yeah.
Something's up.
It's been a really good week.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I love my job. So I've had some good jobs. This is the best one I've ever had. So. No, it's not. It's not. So,
Wonderful students.
I feel honored to work with you before I graduate.
Yeah, Brian Cole just sent me, one of my former students said, I'm the man. He asked for a recommendation. He's trying to apply for a job at Delco, so sure. He graduated last year with a degree. I don't know if you guys know Brian. All right, so 2-hour labs are an option. Pretty much shifting things into the 9 to 10 or 10 to 11 hour or flipping the lectures looks like it's not an option. And what I'm going to do is go get your schedules. If we can, we'll consider shifting to another book. If Jeremy looks at this and thinks he can interpret it and fill in the gaps, we may just go with that. So I'm not promising anything. So you should plan on, at this point, showing up at your regular class time as it is on Monday. And we'll leave it at that. And then plan to show up for those of you in thermodynamics to show up for thermodynamics today at 10 o'clock, and we'll have another discussion. And I'll take in your homework if you want to turn it in. Or you can I can keep it short. Do you want to turn it in at 10 o'clock? You just do you have anything to do with homework?
Chapter 4 problem.
He sort of wanted to do.
I turned those in already.
Oh,
He said like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so 2
right.
weeks from
Yeah,
Monday.
no, on Monday, he said 2 weeks from now.
He gives us a lot of time.
Okay, so let's hold off on that. Hold on to them. You were just saying that to push my button.
We were supposed to have a quiz today.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
I'm with Isaac on this one.
Open notes,
Do we have
Open
grades
book.
yet? Because so far, he's only got a baseline. He told us on
We got
Friday
baseline.
that everything we have done doesn't count.
We'll sort that out, and I think it'll reflect what you've gotten up to this point, and then you can feel free to discuss this. I don't want this to be like complete confusion and chaos. We can keep it from being that. What we'll do is we'll get that sorted out as quickly as we can, so it's crystal clear, we can move ahead and not look back. I think at this point, you don't want to look back. You want to just move ahead. So I hope you all are okay with the change. Garrett's got his hand over his head. Are you okay? What?
I'll keep my opinion to myself.
Okay.
is anybody upset by this?
Okay. Well, actually, I'd love to talk with anyone if they're concerned about the change. I would strongly encourage you to do that. I'm going to go up to my office after this, so we don't have to do it here. Or we can do it here if you feel like it. Because we want to be able to say it. But like I said, I don't think what you've been doing is a waste of time. And we're certainly going to build on that. And I think it's not a big deal. Think of it as two 7-week courses. That's perfectly viable to do things that way. So it's not the way I would have planned it, but sometimes it is. When I came here, I took over this job for a guy named Paul Johnson. And prior to that, he was here. And when they hired Paul Johnson, it was because there was a material science professor who, like in the 5th week, just left, just like quit. So there are times when things don't run absolutely perfectly. And to be quite honest, in other situations, you would have just been stuck with the instructor you've got. I'm sure you've all had professors and instructors who weren't perfect, and you just So we've kind of gone above and beyond the call of duty doing this, and it's a little unprecedented, and that's why it took so long, and we worried about it, and we toiled about it, and we took the decision very, very seriously because we don't like to do this kind of thing. The quality of the education and experience you get is very, very important to the institution. And so this was thought through a lot by people above my pay grade too. And so it was not the best solution. And you all know, for those who've talked to me, I didn't easily do this. But I think it was best for both parties. And you can't have situations that are stressful for both parties. And so I think that's where we're at with it. So I apologize for missing class this week. That we have a couple lectures that are going to be missed. We'll make them up to you as best we can. I think it gives us a little breathing room, though, so it's really much more organized when we get going. I don't want to waste your time by having you show up on Friday and not have everything, all our ducks in a row as best as we can. So we'll do that. Like I said, if we can stop there. I don't know what time it is. Yeah, so why don't we stop there, and I'll give some time to actually talk to anyone who wants to talk about it. We can do that. I'll go drop some stuff off in my office. Please feel free to talk, come talk to me. Now, if you have any thoughts at all, we could use as much guidance. I'm going to pass it on to Jeremy. And if you feel you have some questions for Carl too, you could go through me or try to reach out or anything like that. If there's a reason, at all, if you said I'm not sure about this, or this assignment has to do with your grade, or whatever we want to sort those out earlier rather than later. I don't want to get to the end of the class and in the 12th week have people being like, well, wait, this was because of this. We need to sort that now and get that figured out now. Because this is not an easy topic, so it's not going to be easy one way or the other. Like I said, careful what you ask for. You might actually get it. But I actually think it's okay. I mean, Louise even admitted in her email to me, dynamics is sort of a harder 2 topics. She thought the thermodynamics course was easier to cover. I don't know.
I got an A in here and F in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that works out.
Yeah. We'll take a look at that. And I know there's some assignments actually in that room that need to be graded. We'll figure out a way to look at that. I'll be talking to you about thermodynamics at 10 o'clock and where you are in the book. I've got the book. I taught that class. I've got her notes. right here. So we'll see where you're at with that and see what we're gonna do for lab next week and get going on that stuff too. That's all. All right, so I'll be up in my office if you want to